Hi, I'm Cam Mandel from Tabor Diesel Service. I'm here at Hill Ridge Farming Corporation near Cranford, Alberta. I'd like to talk to you today about Steinbauer. Modern farming today is much different than it was when I grew up on the farm in southern Alberta here. My dad operated a small farm, 2,400 acres, and at the end of the year, he hoped he had some money in the bank. That can't happen anymore with modern farming. As you can see from this equipment I'm standing here today, we're talking $500,000 tractors, and this farm happens to have 3 of them. They have to know their input costs now down to a few dollars per acre to make the modern farming program work. Part of that process is fuel costs, and fuel is a significant part of farming operation now with these massive high horsepower tractors. With Steinbauer modules, this farm has installed and have found a significant fuel savings. In certain conditions, these guys are getting a 6% saving on their fuel consumption with these large tractors. How can that be achieved? These guys want to pull their air seeder at the same speed all the time, and the question is, how can we save fuel? Well, when they're pulling their seeder with these tractors, they're running the tractors about 1,800 RPM. With the Steinbauer module installed, we can increase the performance of this tractor by up to 20%. So now they can throttle this engine back and get it down to around 1,450 RPM. If you do a quick math calculation on that, it's 20 to 22% slower engine speed. Now every time that piston comes up with Steinbauer attached, we're going to put a little more fuel in that engine, but it comes up less often, and the net effect we're seeing is a 5 to 6% fuel savings, which is significant in an operation like this that covers 20,000 acres. And remember, not just this tractor covers the ground. Then we have the sprayers, and we'll talk about those a little later, that covers the ground 3 times, and then we have the combine harvesters and all the other equipment that's part of this operation. So, with this modern farm equipment, the manufacturers make these tractors in families. So for example, this tractor here is made in 3 different horsepower variations. Is there any change in these tractors between horsepower variations? Virtually nothing. These tractors from 450 to 600 horsepower, all the manufacturer does is change the software in the engine. But the price step can be as much as $25,000 per horsepower step in these modern tractors. With Steinbauer installed for $2,300 or $2,400, we can take this tractor, the 95 series, and make it pull right with the 96 series with no adverse effect on the engines because the engines are the same. We're here in the spring, but I'd like to talk about harvest a little bit. We have some of the largest farm operations in Canada. Some of my customers that have been using the Steinbauer product for 3 and 4 years are large custom cutters and large private operations. One of my customers has 24 combines that he runs each year. Every one of those machines has a Steinbauer installed on it. Now you ask, why would they install a Steinbauer on brand new combines that they get each year? It's about efficiency. This custom cutting operation has proved to themselves that by installing the Steinbauer, they can cut more acres per hour. And when they're out on the custom cutting circuit, it's all about the material that they can process and put away, and that's how they get paid. So if you can cut another 6% a day, or if you can cut another 30 acres a day, or if you can save 6% on fuel, when you're talking 24 machines, we're talking thousands of dollars a day in savings. Plus they get the job done a lot quicker. 2 years ago, if any of you can remember, in the farming business, in southern Alberta, we ended up with a lot of rain. It was a really tough harvest, probably one of the toughest harvests in years. We'd get a week of rain and then we'd get some decent weather, and it was a big rush to get the crop off before the snow. I had a customer that bought 1 unit for his John Deere combine to try. And he was so impressed with it, the next day he called up and bought 3 more. In November, after his harvest was all done, he came in my shop and brought these modules back to me. The reason he brought them back is he had traded his combines off on a different brand, and we ended up doing a deal. After I had a discussion with him about the modules, I asked him, how did they work? He says, Cam, I have to tell you, we were able to cut 35 more acres a day with each one of these machines. And we had a window of good weather and we were able to run 6 days. So our calculation with our GPSs and our yield monitors on our combines is that we cut an extra 800 acres because we had Steinbar modules installed. Then we ended up getting a bunch of rain. The rain came for a week. We couldn't get back to our crop. Then we went back and started our harvest again a week later, and we had lost a grade on, and sometimes 2 grades on that week. The quality wasn't there. The rain had damaged the grain. Our calculation is that we saved a grade, which is approximately 60 cents a bushel, on 30,000 bushels of grain. He went on to tell me, Cam, these boxes were free to us, and the next ones I buy, and probably the next ones are going to be free to us as well. It really made a difference in our operation and saved us well over 30,000 bushels of premium Canadian #1 wheat. Steinbar and modern farming go together to make things more efficient for your farm operation.